The first time I heard the number, I thought the translator was broken. The alien war chamber fell silent. Dozens of non-human eyes fixed on me as the hologram flickered between stars and corpses. The number hovered there, cold and exact. And in that moment, I understood why the war paused, not ended, not escalated, but hesitated. Because the kill count of one Earth Marine wasn't a statistic. It was a warning. But that was only the beginning. My name is Elias Mercer, Sergeant, Earth Marine Corps, 3rd Expeditionary. I was standing in the heart of the Khar'Zuun Coalition's flagship, shackled by gravity clamps, awaiting judgment. Humanity's judgment, or execution. The difference felt thin. The Coalition had invaded Earth orbit 3 months earlier. They called it a containment conflict. Like we were a disease, they underestimated us. Everyone does. What they didn't expect was me. I wasn't special. That truth haunted me more than the blood on my hands. I wasn't genetically enhanced beyond standard Marine augments. I wasn't a psychic. I wasn't a chosen one. I was trained, tired, and very, very human, which made the number worse. The chamber lights dimmed, and the alien adjudicator, arch-strategist Vrail, unfurled his segmented crest. His species processed emotion mathematically. Fear, to him, was a variable. He spoke, and the translator hummed in my skull. Sergeant Mercer, we have calculated your confirmed lethal engagements. A pause. A deliberate one. Would you like to hear the count? I swallowed. I already knew it would change everything. Yes, I said. The hologram shifted. Planets, space stations, urban ruins, each marked with red pulses. Each pulse of life ended by my rifle, my knife, my hands. 2,417, Vrail said. The room reacted. Chitin clicked. Bioluminescent veins dimmed. One species recoiled so hard its attendants steadied it. None of us were prepared for the truth. I laughed. It slipped out broken and raw. That's impossible. Vrail tilted his head. We agree. That is why this proceeding exists. They thought I was a weapon, a malfunction, an anomaly that needed explaining before extermination. But the real horror wasn't the number. It was how ordinary it was. I remember my first kill. A boarding action above Luna. 0G blood drifting like rubies. I remembered shaking afterward, vomiting into my helmet. I remembered telling myself it was necessary. Necessary became routine. Routine became survival. And survival became math. The Coalition believed wars were won by fleets and numbers. They didn't understand momentum, or resolve, or what happens when you back a species into extinction and expect them to fight clean. But that was only the beginning. They replayed the footage. My squad's last stand on Kepler 186F. 14 Marines against an entire armor battalion. I watched myself again, moving on instinct, not hatred. Covering my people, buying seconds with blood. What I saw next changed everything. The footage paused on a frame where I was shielding a wounded alien civilian, wrong species, wrong side. While returning fire, the chamber murmured. You spared non-combatants, Vrail said, repeatedly. Yeah, I replied. We're not monsters. The alien observers exchanged data bursts. Confusion spiked. Then explain the discrepancy. Vrail demanded. 1 individual. 2,000 dead. No loss of cognitive stability. No evident pleasure response. That was the question, wasn't it? I leaned forward against the clamps. You want to know our secret? The clamps tightened. We don't fight because we like it, I said quietly. We fight because we remember. Silence. Every Marine carries ghosts, I continued. Friends. Cities. Earth's sunsets you can't replicate. You count bodies. We count names. The room chilled. Halfway through the trial, the mid-story truth emerged, the one that made even me stop breathing. The Coalition's analysts projected a new figure. Not my kill count. The average. 1 Earth Marine, Vrail said slowly, in sustained conflict, results in projected enemy casualty rate exceeding entire mechanized divisions. Gasps. Static. Fear. Finally translated into something they could feel. I shook my head. You're still missing it. Vrail's eyes narrowed. Explain. You think the kill count is a weapon? I said. It's not. I met his gaze. The weapon is what happens after. They didn't understand until they ran the simulations. After-action reports showed Coalition units withdrawing, not from Marines, but from the idea of Marines. One survivor spreads a story. One broken unit infects another with fear. Humanity didn't just kill armies. We haunted them. That revelation fractured the chamber. What I saw next changed everything. An alarm blared. External sensors screamed. The Coalition's outer fleet was breaking formation. Earth reinforcements had arrived. Not to attack. To wait. They had heard about me, about the trial, about the number, and they stopped firing. Because when your enemy pauses mid-war to ask questions, something has gone very wrong. Vrail dismissed the guards. The clamps released. That alone terrified me. You are not to be executed, he said. I exhaled shakily. That's good. You are to be studied, he added. I smiled without humor. That's worse. But then his crest lowered, a gesture of concession. Sergeant Mercer, what would it take to end this war? The question hung heavy. I thought of my squad, of Earth, of the names I carried like scars. Truth, I said, and distance. Explain. You don't need to fear us, I said. You need to stop giving us reasons. The Coalition withdrew 3 days later. Not defeated, not destroyed. Frightened, they issued a galactic advisory. A single line broadcast to every advanced civilization. Avoid prolonged ground conflict with humanity. They never mentioned my name. But the final report did. It concluded that the kill count of one Earth Marine was not measured in bodies, but in wars prevented. As I stood on the hangar deck, watching alien stars fade, I felt no triumph, only exhaustion and hope, a fragile, trembling thing. Because if the galaxy ever forgot that number, we'd remind them, and the war would never be the same again.